This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network. Chairman of the Rivers State Chapter of All Progressive Congress, Chief Tony Okocha, has dismissed insinuations from some quarters that the 27 embattled lawmakers of the State House of Assembly defected from the People's Democratic Party to his party. Okocha said he never received the former lawmakers into the APC, saying that what happened at the Port Harcourt Polo Club in December 2023 was not a reception for the 27 lawmakers, but an event to celebrate the constitution of the State Executive Council of the APC by the national body of the party. Addressing journalists at the APC Secretariat in Port Harcourt, Okocha corrected the impression that he invited the lawmakers individually as friends for the 2023 event and not as assembly members. He accused the Rivers State Governor Similai Fubara of infracting the rule of law at all times, adding that there is no way a high court can sit in judgment over a superior court of appeal. Okocha accused the governor of exhibiting dictatorial tendencies by his refusal to obey the court judgment which authorized him to represent the 2024 budget before the Right Honorable Martin Amihule-led House of Assembly, and decry how senior lawmakers misinterpreted the court's judgment. Still in Rivers State, Police Command has announced the arrest of a suspect involved in an ATM debit card swapping syndicate. The suspect, at a 5-year-old Blessing Daberechi Oleru, was arrested on February 5, 2025. After a coordinated intelligence operation, according to the police reports, the suspect swapped the victim's debit card at a bank in Port Harcourt, leading to unauthorized withdrawals totaling 523,600 naira. The victim had reported the incident on November 26, 2024, after receiving debit alerts. During interrogation, Orelu confessed to the crime, and a Money Points POS machine was recovered from her possession. The police are still investigating and working to apprehend other members of the syndicate. These arrests demonstrate the Rivers State Police Command's commitment to combating financial crimes and protecting citizens' interests. In Bayelsa, body of a 200-level chemical engineering student of the Federal University Otuoke who drowned in Ekoli Creek, Yenagoa after allegedly attempting to swim across for a 300 naira bet has been recovered. The students retrieved from the river on Monday evening, nearly 24 hours after he went missing. Witnesses said he jumped into the water but failed to resurface. Grief-stricken students of the university held a candlelight procession in his honor on Monday night. Confirming the incident, spokesperson for the Bayelsa State Police Command, Musa Mohammed, said investigations were ongoing to determine the circumstances surrounding the death. Moving on, Cross River State Government has confirmed an outbreak of Lassa fever in Obubra local government area following the death of a 30-year-old male farmer from Unincha community. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Henry Ewe-Ayuk, announced the outbreak in a public statement revealing that the deceased succumbed to the disease on February 17th at the Federal University Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. According to the report, the victim had sought medical attention at the Federal University Teaching Hospital on February 15 after experiencing symptoms for several days. Dr. Ayuk disclosed that the state and local government area rapid response teams have been deployed to Unincha, working in close collaboration with the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the World Health Organization to contain the spread. Also, town hall meetings have been initiated with community leaders, decontamination of affected homes, ample collection for testing, referral of symptomatic persons to designated health facilities, as well as distribution of Lassa fever and cholera medication, consumables and other emergency medical supplies in high-risk local government areas. He hinted. Dr. Ayuk reassured residents that the state government, under the leadership of Governor Basio II, has taken all necessary steps to control the outbreak and prevent further spread of infectious diseases. He, however, urged the public to remain vigilant against Lassa fever, cholera, mpox and other epidemic-prone illnesses, particularly as the early rains approach. National Working Committee of All the Progressive Congress has dismissed reports suggesting it approved the inauguration of a leadership council in its Delta State chapter. A statement in Abuja said the party's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, clarified that the National Working Committee had not granted such approval and the purported leadership council has no constitutional backing within the party's structure. The statement reaffirmed the NWC's commitment to upholding the party's constitution and assuring that only legitimate structures operate within the APC framework. Moving on to Edo State, chapter of the PDP has condemned the attack on the people of Obebe community in Etasako East local government by gunmen, leading to the gruesome murder of 2 farmers. A statement by Chris Nehikare, Publicity Secretary of the Edo PDP Caretaker Committee, the party expressed disappointment over the killing of Bates Mwe Philip Abel and Christopher Bello. ATN reports that Abel and Bello were attacked and killed on their way to their farms. The party urged the governor, Monday Obebolo, to take urgent and decisive steps to check the situation before it degenerates. Also in Edo State, the governor, Monday Obebolo, has condemned the attacks that claimed 24 lives in the state. The first clash claimed 24 lives against the 7 reported by the Edo State Police Command was between cocoa farmers and some alleged produce thieves in the agrarian community of Mbere Mountain in Ovia Southwest local government area of Edo State. The clash started last Thursday night and escalated on Friday morning as those believed to be sympathetic to those killed in Thursday night fight mobilized and launched a counterattack on Friday morning, which led to more killings. In the second incident, 2 residents of the Obebe community in Esako East local government area of the state, Betemwe Philip Ebo and Christopher Bello, were reportedly killed on Monday by suspected raiders. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Fred Itwa, said the government of the state will not tolerate any form of violence and promised to bring perpetrators of the dastardly act to book. Meanwhile, Obebolo has ordered the deployment of additional security personnel to the affected areas and the provision of support to the affected communities. In Lagos State, leadership of the House of Assembly has called for the immediate release of 3 of 8 staff members who were arrested by the Department of State Services and are still in custody. The staff members were reportedly detained last Friday for questioning regarding an incident from the previous Monday, during which DSS operatives stormed the appeal for action. Speaking the DSS and the Nigerian Labour Congress, along with other relevant authorities, to step in and ensure the swift release of the detained staff. Ogunlana expressed the union's strong resolve, declaring no retreat, no surrender in their demand for justice. The situation has sparked calls for immediate intervention from key state and national bodies to address the matter. Still in Lagos State, Ikeja's Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court has sentenced a herbalist, Segun Shina, for 14 years imprisonment for attempted sexual assault on a 10-year-old girl who suffered epilepsy. Justice Raman Oshodi sentenced Shina after he pleaded guilty to an amended 1-count charge of attempted sexual assault. ATN reports that Shina had in plea bargain agreement changed his plea of not guilty to guilty. Oshodi therefore held the evidence before the court, and the voluntary plea proved that Shina committed the offense. Oshodi thereafter convicted him as charged. The judge held that he was satisfied that the convict duly understood the nature of the plea bargain agreement and that his counsel had explained it to him. Oshodi ordered that the sentence should commence from November 16, 2018, the day Shina was arrested. The court also ordered the family of the convict to ensure his rehabilitation upon release. In Ekiti State, 52 persons have been arraigned before an Ekiti State Magistrate Court at the Ekiti District for alleged violations of the environmental health and sanitation laws of the state. A statement by the State Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources in Ado Ekiti said the suspects were charged to court for allegedly violating the environmental health and sanitation laws of Ekiti State during Saturday's environmental sanitation exercise. It also said the magistrate Olumbumi Bamidele sentenced 37 of the suspects to 1 month imprisonment each, having found them guilty of the allegations preferred against them. According to the statement, the Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Chosin Aluko Ajisafe, speaking in Ado Ekiti earlier, while monitoring the environmental sanitation exercise, urged residents to maintain a high level of hygiene to rid the state of communicable diseases. Aluko Ajisafe, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Tunde Balogun, during She reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring a hygienic and sustainable environment. Aluko Ajisafe urged community leaders and stakeholders to intensify awareness campaigns on the importance of sanitation, stressing that enforcing sanitation laws is a proactive measure to prevent disease outbreaks caused by poor hygiene. Moving on to Kogi State, government has called on citizens to actively protect public infrastructure in their communities to sustain the state's rapid development. While speaking in Lokoja, the State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Mr. Kingsley Fango, said the real owners of public infrastructure are the people, and it's incumbent upon you to protect them. Fango highlighted the significant progress achieved over the past year under the leadership of His Excellency Alhaji Osman Ododo. The Commissioner also highlighted the administration's commitment to rural development through extensive projects led by the Kogi State Community and Social Development Agency. He further urged citizens to report any instances of vandalism through the Ministry of Information and Communications, which will escalate such cases to the Office of the State Security Advisor. This call to action underscores that Kogi State's development is a shared responsibility. By protecting public infrastructure, citizens ensure that the fruits of progress continue to benefit all, paving the way for a brighter future of the state. In Benue State, government has discovered an outbreak of Lassa fever following a concerning rise in cases over the past 4 years. Speaking at a press conference in Makurdi, the Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Dr. Yama Ose, revealed that the state had recorded 40 suspected cases this year alone, with 5 confirmed infections and 3 deaths. This translates to a 60% case fatality rate. According to Dr. Ose, Lassa fever remains a severe viral disease primarily spread through contact with infected rodents or etc. or excreta. He warned that the situation required urgent attention to prevent further losses of lives. The Commissioner outlined symptoms of the diseases, which include high fever, headache, sore throat, muscle pain, chest pain, nausea, vomiting, and in severe cases, unexplained bleeding. To curb infections, the state government has launched rodent control initiatives, including community cleanup campaigns and environmental sanitation drives. He also raised concerns about the increasing rate of snake bites in the state, citing that 199 cases had been recorded at General Hospital, Bajimbar in Guma local government area between July and December 2024. Moving into Kebbi State, the state governor Nasi Idris has commended the federal government's efforts in constructing and completing the Human Rights Commission offices in some states of the Federation. He disclosed this at the commissioning of the Kebbi State Office of NHRC in Benin, Kebbi. Idris said the event reflected the federal government's commitment under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu to improve cooperation and coordination in the planning and implementation of human rights across the country. In his speech, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi-San, said the federal government under Tinubu was not interfering with the independence of the Human Rights Commission. Fagbemi said the commissioning of the KB office of NHRC would further entrench the operational independence of the commission, adding that it was a bold statement by the federal government towards the support to the commission and to protect the rights of the Nigerians. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Welcome back. This is Atlantic Television Network Transition. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu sent condolences to the Minister of Information and National Orientation Alhaji Mohammed Idris on the death of his mother-in-law Hajia Hayuwa Usman, who died at 70. The president conveyed his condolences to the Idris family, their in-laws, and all relatives, urging them to find strength and comfort during this difficult time. Mr. Bayo Onunuga, his spokesman, said in a statement, Tinubu further prayed for the repose of Hajia Hayuwa's soul, saying, "May Almighty Allah forgive her shortcomings, grant her eternal rest, and admit her to Ajana Fidaus." The president expressed his support for the minister and his family during the mourning period. Nigerian Senate has commenced a probe of Senate Natasha Akpoti Uduahan's conduct during plenary last Thursday and referred the issue to his Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Committee on Code of Conduct and Public Petitions. The issue began when Senator Yemi Adramoju, chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, raised a point of order and expressed concern about misleading media reports regarding the events that unfolded in the Senate last week and stressed on the need to protect the integrity and future of the Senate.
A section of the public, and I'm narrowing it to Mr. Senate President versus a senator, which is not so, because our guiding rules, which is our testament and our catechism, our own Bible and our own Quran, which we all subscribe to religiously, embodies and epitomizes the whole Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Any action against it is an action against the Senate. It's not an action against the Senate President. Mr. President, sir, we were told when we were growing up as toddlers that where there is no law, there's no sin. But we have laws. Then it means that any contravention of that law is a sin. And where there is sin, there must be penalty.
It's nothing that has to do with gender. It's nothing that has to do with hatred. It's nothing that has to do with any form of malice. For the record, let me say again, distinguished Senator Adamu Alero, who had been governor for 8 years, who had been honorable minister, and who is one of the most ranking senators in this Senate today, was asked to move his seat. And he didn't make any issue out of it. We had a reason to change the seat of His Excellency Distinguished Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwa. He didn't make any issue out of it. Senator Jarigbe Ojarigbe, who had a reason to move his seat, he didn't make an issue. Senator Wadada, we moved his seat. He didn't make an issue out of it. That's on the minority side. On the majority side, we had reasons to move the seat, change the seats of the likes of Senator Wamako, obviously one of the most ranking senators here, two-time governor before. He didn't make any issue.
The Senate leader, Opeyemi Bamidele, Minority Leader, Abba Moro, and Senator Jimo Ibrahim, among others, lamented over the conduct displayed by Apoti Uduahan on the fateful day and recommended that the matter be referred to its appropriate organ for further investigation. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, reminded lawmakers of the importance of adhering to Senate rules, citing Order 66, Subsection 2, and Section 55 of Senate rules. He underscored that all senators must conduct themselves with decorum, including prohibitions on chewing gum, drinking water, or being disruptive during sitting.
Attorney General of Bender State and Attorney General of Federation, any behavior, any act or omission of any senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that is inconsistent with the Red Book is to the extent of its consistency void and of no effect. And we owe the public a duty of explanation, which I think Adramodu has formulated and distilled very well. It's not an emotional matter. And we have very many committees in the Senate that handle issues like this.
So even without giving reason of defection, decampment, or anything, the Senate President can observe, as they are calling me in the social media, headmaster. The headmaster can observe that two senators are too close, and they are always discussing. And it says, in order to ensure the sanctity and decorum of the Senate, Senator Abdul Fattah Buhari moved to the next seat. You are too close to Sahabe Yao. You move to this other seat. And it must be obeyed. If you want to be a senator, please learn that this is our guiding principle. All the things that they are saying outside. Here, this book here gives the power to the Senate President to even suspend a senator for at least 14 legislative days without reference to any committee. And that means if we are sitting 3 times in a week, that comes to about 5 weeks without reference to any committee. And that stands.
Senators voted to approve that the issue be referred to the Ethics Committee for investigation and to report back to the Senate in 2 weeks. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has filed a lawsuit against the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for alleged defamation. ATN reports that Akpoti-Uduaghan raised concerns after her Senate seat was reassigned following a reshuffle triggered by opposition members switching to the majority wing. She resisted the relocation, leading to a confrontation between her and the Senate President. However, in a suit filed before the Federal Capital Territory High Court on 25 February 2025, the President of the Senate, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the senior legislative aide to the Senate President, Mfon Patrick, was listed as the second and third defendants. In the suit, Akpoti-Uduaghan, through her lawyer, Victor Giwa, alleged that defamatory statements were made by the Senate President and published by his aide on Facebook. Giwa argued that the statement was defamatory, provocative, and disparaging, lowering his client's dignity in the eyes of colleagues and the public. She also urged the court to restrain the defendants and other associates from making further defamatory statements against her or any platform. Furthermore, Akpoti-Uduaghan asked the court to order defendants to pay her 100 billion naira in general damages and 300 million as litigation costs. Okay. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, has assured that the Senate would produce legislation from the tax reform bills aimed at making Nigeria's economy a $1 trillion base. He said President Bola Tinubu has tasked the National Assembly with this goal, and the legislature was committed to creating a tax law acceptable across the country. Musa made the statement while speaking with journalists in Abuja on Tuesday, adding that following the recently concluded public hearing on the tax reform bills, the committee would consider all stakeholders' input on their merits. He stressed that the focus was on creating a law acceptable to all Nigerians. He noted that the president had envisioned a $1 trillion economy for Nigeria, reflecting the direction of the reform. In related comments, Senator Abdul Ningi of Bauchi Central supported the bill, describing them as essential for Nigerians' development and dispelling claims of regional opposition. He noted that these tax reforms had embraced a Nigerian dimension, not a North-South dichotomy. Moving on to the House of Representatives, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin has warned that the persistent security challenges in the country has been discouraging potential investors and capable of fueling humanitarian crisis. Honorable Tajuddin Abbas stated this in Abuja at one-day public hearing on a bill for the establishment of a Nigerian Security and Intelligence Trust Fund. The Speaker, who was represented by Honorable Victor Nwokolo, said the insecurity has also worsened food shortages, making many farmers to abandon their farms due to safety concerns, and stressed the need for legislative intervention to tackle the issue, stating that the proposed bills aimed to enhance the capacity of Nigerian security and intelligence agencies in fulfilling their constitutional duty of protecting lives and properties. Chairman of the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Ahmed Satomi, in his address said the bill seeks to provide funding for security and intelligence-related matters outside of the usual budgetary provision. While the fund will primarily be deployed to the training and retraining of personnel of Nigerian security agencies, provision of the state-of-the-art security and intelligence equipment and other necessary infrastructures-related facilities for the enhancement of the technical competency and operational readiness of the security personnel in all areas of their operations. Honorable Satome also said the fund will ensure the upgrade and maintenance of the training institutions of global standards, make resources available for research and development, including the utilization of outcome of such research to bring the intelligence agencies, the armed forces, and the relevant parliament military agencies at par with world-best security agencies in this digital age. He also said the passage of the bill will ensure that funds will no longer be a major hindrance to the effectiveness and efficiency of security and intelligence agencies to deliver on their mandates.
Bill aims to